And here we go. Happy Friday, folks. How's it going? Good to see you all out there. I've got an extra thumbnail wishing you an extra day in 2024. Happy leap year. Good to see you all out there. It is an exciting day here in the studio. Okay. Whew. All right. I was running. I hate to be in such a rush at the beginning of all of these videos, but I'm always trying something new. So I've got some little extra technology in places. I apologize. So I'm still gathering myself. So let me say welcome to all of you that are out there. I have realized that I cannot see my notes at the moment. They're down on the floor. So I'm just going to do this because there's something really important we want to talk about today before we get started with everybody. And let me say hello. Welcome to Stitchin Heaven's live YouTube. My name is Rob Appell. I am sorry, I've got a buddy here helping me out as well. So you're going to hear Captain Edward in the background. That's all right. We don't need the notes. I want to let everybody know, because of the new technology, that we are now able to put out the video in 1080. So if you were used to the fuzzy quality of the videos in the past, check down in the settings. You can probably take it from auto up to 1080, and we're going to hopefully be doing some machine quilting a little bit later on today. On the long arm, up close and personal, that's why we've got some extra help with us today. And so at any rate, you might want to have a little better resolution. That's one of the things I definitely wanted to say to everybody out there as we dive in. Welcome to all 52,000 subscribers. I would not mind if we hit 53,000 by the end of the afternoon, and we're about 100 to go. So let all your friends know where good old Rob is hanging out nowadays, making videos. And also, really fun, we've got the Facebook private group, and I talk about it every week, but I haven't really shown it to you folks. So this is what it looks like. You're on Facebook and just look up So Well with Rob Appell. You can see here we've got a bunch of members out there, and later on today we've got a little surprise for all of you members. I have helped myself to several of the quilt photographs that you've all been sharing, and we're going to have a little secret show and tell with all of your quilts out there for our members. I won't embarrass you, I won't put your names out there, but as you're logging in today, make sure that you know that you may be seeing some of your quilts towards the end of today's video, and that'll be a lot of fun. Now, if you want to let everybody know they're your quilts, you're welcome to. You'll recognize your photographs, of course. I'm checking in real quick on the comments. I've got them up on the screen. Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of you out there. This is amazing. Oh, I love to see that. If you're a first-time joiner, please let us know where you're coming from, what you're doing out there. Oh, I just saw a Los Osos, California. I promise to not look at the comments all during the show, but when I see ones like that that are real special to my heart, I got to stop for a moment. So we'll come back to a comments check in a little bit. And like I said, if you're a new viewer, that was fun last week. We had a couple of new viewers, and so it's really fun for all of us to welcome you. Now, as we run through the announcements, please do not forget we have the All Texas Shop Hop going on. That is started today, and it runs through April, all the way till the end of April, and there's over 105 shops participating. Come on into Stitchin Heaven or Stitchin Heaven online. We have specials and all kinds of great bundles and different things, both in person and online for you. So that's for the next few months. But folks, you know what happens in the first few weeks. Everybody gets the good stuff. And I don't want you to feel like you're going to miss out. Don't worry about it. We're a big shop and we've got a lot of good stuff. But if you don't act fast, you're going to miss the good stuff. So that's how it works. Okay, block of the months. If you did not hear, we are doing Arabella as actual full-length tutorials now. Yesterday was really fun. I was just wrapping up the third month sewing. I've been wearing my Team Tiffany, my Passion for Precision shirt, folks, and I hate to say it doesn't seem to be working. The blocks are coming out decent, but they're not coming out perfect like I was promised if I had that t-shirt on. But I'm doing my best. Month 3 we'll have 4 blocks for you. That's way down the road. That's going to be month 3. My gosh, I think that's May or something like that. But at any rate, I'm just a little further ahead, and I've been really enjoying sewing with those wonderful Wing and a Prayer batiks that we have. So if you haven't been paying attention, or if you're just interested in all kinds of block of the months, don't forget, check out the stitchinheaven.com. We've got the block of the month as its own special page, and there's all kinds of awesome kits you can register for just $1, and it's really, really, really fun. Oh, speaking of specials, here's a fun little one right now. The Riley Blake kits are buy 2, get 1 free, and they say bench pillow, but folks, I've got a secret for you. Let me let you watch this for a moment so you can get your eyes on it. These are these cute little skinny kind of quiltish or the quilt style projects, right? But look at them real close. Think this through. If it's buy two, get one free, and it makes a skinny third of a quilt, you could technically make a quilt out of the 3 kits. I've actually played with them and it will work. It's pretty awesome. I don't encourage that you mix and match. In that situation, just get 3 of the same kits, put them all together, and you get a full-size quilt. It's a really cool idea. So at any rate, we just put those on special. They're the awesome bench pillow. It says bench pillow, but remember, it's just a third of a quilt, or maybe it's 2 square pillows. However you like to do your math. We're quilters. We can cut things up and put them right back together any way we want, right? So that's also very, very exciting going on. Uh-oh, I'm terrified. I just realized I forgot to update the Grateful list. I knew I was forgetting something today. I'm looking down. It's the next thing in the menu. Okay, let's be on the fly Grateful listers, folks. If you have something to put in the Grateful list, help me out. Of course, today we're getting a little more rain. I've used that one in the past, but it's a good one. We always need rain in California. I'm extra thankful for my friend that is here today. He is making faces at me and keeping me smiling, and it's always wonderful to have somebody come and help out. So that's 2 so far. I'm not putting up the Grateful list because I have last week's things that I was grateful for. Oh, I'm going to Texas on Sunday. That's going to be really cool because I get to meet and hang out with Elijah, our new camera operator and creative guy on our marketing team, and that's going to be really fun. I think we have a pillow fight scheduled and everything, so it's just going to be, you know, good old buddies getting to know each other, that kind of way. And then also we have a new member coming in the marketing team that is going to be, I guess his title officially is marketing director, which means I'll be spending most of next week training a new boss, folks. I hope he doesn't hear me say that. But anyways, Nick, welcome to the team. I hope you're watching this to see what you're in for. I hear you're going to do awesome. So that's Texas next week. Oh, and then I was going to say, if I was already to 3 and we always do 4, I'm going to say, and I used this one last week, I believe, but I'm grateful for, in Texas, all y'all. Meaning that I'm going to use your secret slideshow here today. So thank you all again for being part of my community here. Thank you for participating in that Facebook group and all of the YouTube videos. So yeah, that's the Grateful list, even an impromptu Grateful list. See how easy if you'll just stop and think about the things we're blessed with, how easy it is to be grateful. So at any rate, back to the announcements. This week on YouTube, I'm playing with some new thumbnails again. So not as much info, just big fun pictures. That's the basket weave quilt. And the other thing I'm excited about this project, it's a really, really simple basket weave, very simple instructions. But next week, I've already got it basted, ready to rock and roll. While I'm out there hanging out with Elijah, we're going to try to shoot some really cool free motion on your standard domestic style sewing machine videos for you all. And so we're going to use this as one of our examples. And so I've got it ready. I'm going to put it in the suitcase and take it with me. And if it works, we'll try to play with it live next week. But we might be walking through the store because I love to do shop walkabouts when I'm out there in Texas. But either way, we're going to put together a couple of different wonderful tutorials for you with this. So that's one of the projects now coming up. You were all so positive about all of the free motion ideas that you wanted to hear about and learn about. So we're doing a lot more of that. That's the other reason that I've got what I'm calling the easiest log cabin quilt ever on the wall. This one I haven't basted yet, so we're going to try to shoot video showing you how I based on the table. I've got my backing already made, so I'm really ready for the trip, but we're going to really get focused on some free motion quilting videos over the next several weeks for you all, and Elijah and I will be working on those next week. So that's really exciting coming up. Here's how you make that quilt top. This is what the video looks like for the easiest log cabin quilt ever. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. I think it's awesome. As we wrap up the announcements for the week here, I've got just a couple of last photos. Let's start with a fun video though. Here's what the team was up to last week out in Texas.
Hi, I'm Karen at Stitchin Heaven, the largest quilt store in Texas. Let's go inside. Here at Stitchin Heaven, we've been getting ready for all you Texas shop hoppers. From our Civil War reproduction fabrics to our beautiful cape section. At Stitchin Heaven, we have everything a quilter could possibly dream of. including our Island Boutique exclusive fabrics designed by Deb Luttrell. Come on down to Stitchin Heaven and get your photo with Gus.
That's right. And while they were all working hard on that, there's the tattoo I did this weekend. Oops, I mean the work I was doing this weekend. And this quilt top as well, which we're going to get to here in a second. This one I think we're going to call like the rainbow chain or checkered chain quilt, something like this. This is another tutorial I've got on the docket, but I also at the moment have it over there on the long arm. We're going to go over and tackle here in just a second. I think it'd be kind of fun. So I was talking earlier about technology, and it's really hard to film and machine quilt up close because of the vibrations of the machine. So we've been working on the Quilter's companion vest here. So headphones, everybody, earphones, because I'm going to hit my microphone as I slide this thing on. And so what we're going to do in a second is we're going to strap a camera to my chest and see if we can get in there and get some better quilting footage for you. Be able to see what's going on in a second. But I want to confirm a couple more things before we get going too far. Last week we were doing the binding tutorial, so now you can see on this quilt that the binding is completely all the way around and it works and looks awesome. And if you didn't see last week's live video, I was trying to show you all on the long arm just how to do some real basic back and forth style machine quilting. And it's really nice on a big wide open project like this where you really want to see the design of the star, of the check that's running through here, the chain piecing, all of that, right? So at any rate, I didn't need to do too much with the quilting. It still shows a quilted quilt, but at the same time it was real simple and easy. What's on the machine right now, I don't know if you can see it too close. Zoom in a little bit. Well, we'll get over there closer. Is a really intricate kind of doodle, stippling, graffiti style stuff that I love to do. And I think it'll be fun to watch, a little bit more intricate, but I want you to be able to come in a little closer and see what we're doing with all of that. So I think it's about time that we roll on over. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and grab, if I can, the overhead camera we've been using, bring it down. Isn't technology wonderful? And now, if all goes well, I can slide it here. And then we're going to go on over to the other side of the room real quick. This is why we do it. Okay. Nope. Yep. All right. We're back. I guess somehow Okay, can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. Slap that phone, exactly. I'm wearing a mic pack that I accidentally paused, I guess, when I was monkeying around back here. Folks, if there is a way that I can figure out to make a disaster out of a live video, I can guarantee I will almost get us there. Which is actually part of the next thing we'll discuss as we're moving forward. I have this machine running pretty well, and that's partly why I was in a panic when I was getting ready for today's video, is I started doing the free motion machine quilting and I started running into some serious issues with thread breakage. It happens to all of us. So then I decided we needed to do some troubleshooting, and so first of all, just kind of the steps again. I broke my thread the first time, so I simply rethreaded and kept stitching. But again, I broke my thread a second time. Both times I was moving backwards. So I thought, if it happens a third time, I'm going to address this. It happened again a third time in a very short distance. And so I thought, okay, I must either have my needle out of adjustment, because on a machine like this, the needles are actually adjustable in the way they sit in the machine, or tension's off, or there's something wrong in the thread path. So one of my favorite things to do, this is a lesson, folks, is I'll come on over to the machine and I'll pull thread all the way through the machine until it goes top to bottom on the spool a few times. And I actually found that the thread was snagging on the top of the spool, and that was what I thought was causing the breakage. Went back in, but I was also trying to use a really, really fine 80 weight bobbin thread because I wanted to try it out, and it was just too fine for the speed I was moving. So I've gone up in size of thread. I've also now replaced my needle, but in all of that, I've got my needle slightly out of adjustment. So as we get ready to get into our stitching here, I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm just going to put you all onto my belly cam. Here you go. Take your Dramamine. I'm going to move slow because I know what it's like. I'm going to get you into a little bit better framework here. Okay. And now, beautiful. I can see you're there. I can hear you can all hear me. We're just going to do some machine quilting together. If the thread breaks, we're going to stop and we're going to just talk it through. I have kind of a pace setter on the machine, not a thread or a stitch regulator right now. And as I was mentioning earlier, when I was heading backwards in this direction, I was struggling with thread breaks. Right now it seems to be doing pretty good, but I realize if I talk, you're on my belly and you're bouncing around. So now I can't explain what I'm doing. I might actually just hand the camera to my buddy and let him come in here and just, let's just do this right, huh? Okay, let's go this way for a second, folks. I think you deserve better from me. Let's go to you. Here you go. Ed, you can, come on over here, Ed. We got a rule. If you're going to do it, sorry, I got to embarrass my friend. There he is. Okay, here we go, folks. You deserve better. Would you mind, sir?
Gotcha.
Just be real careful of the power button because it might turn off the whole party on this Friday. Okay, we're going to try to keep them right there for us. Okay, oh, you know what we got to do? Okay, I'm going to bring back to that camera. Okay, here we go. We got on Eddie cam now. So one of my thoughts behind this quilt, with all the wide open, white open spaces, is to be able to come in and really enjoy the machine quilting in these areas. So when you're quilting on a long arm, there are bars that roll the fabric and keep everything taut so you don't have to baste. And what will happen is, I want to leave spaces where I can go back in and do the same style of quilting so that it doesn't look like real set lines of where I've been stitching. It was really easy to run lines in last week's video on the quilt that was from the New Year's Day project because it was a linear style design we were doing. But with all of these swirls and swoops in this style of a design, I don't want it to be real obvious when the quilt is hanging on the wall or laying on the bed where the quilt on the frame was stopped and re-rolled. Okay, folks, we've broken thread, and like I said, I got further than I expected, but now what we need to do is we're just going to put the needle up and re-thread. As I mentioned earlier, these long arm style machines have a rounded needle. There's no flat back. And so I often have my needle slightly offset from center so that it gives me a little bit bigger thread loop. And that bigger thread loop, when you're running the machine in the backwards motion, in doing swirls, helps you catch those threads. So it can be a real advantage, but you got to get it set just right. And of course, I'm not there yet. Okay, so I have now reloaded. What I want to do is I want to connect securely to that bobbin thread. So I'm going to use my needle down, needle up feature, okay? And as I pull away, I can get a hold of the under threads enough that I can kind of build a little space with all of that thread. I can put my finger on it, and now as I begin stitching and work my way away from the thread first, stopping the machine, I can then come back and cut out all 3 or 4 of those tails that got pulled to the top. So it's secured and out of the way, and it's a real tidy little pickup. And I'll just go ahead and come back up here and start working into the design more. Now, if you've heard me talk free motion quilting in the past, you probably heard me say it's just a combination of straight and curved lines. And usually when I'm doing it, I don't even know what I'm going to do until something like this starts to happen. And I see a motif or a design that I like the way it looks, and then I'll just kind of play with it. Like those 3 bumps that go in there. But one of the things is you want to be able to have some spaces where you have wide open space and then tight space. Because that wide open space will puff out more later on, and those tight spaces will lay down so that it makes for a more interesting quilting effect for the texture when you're looking at the all-over quilt. So one of the things I'm always looking for is the balance between tight quilting and open quilting, but no matter what, there's the conversation behind consistency, which says, now that I've started this much quilting, I'm going to need to do this much quilting throughout the whole project, if that makes sense. As I come to the edge, I have a tendency of reaching under the quilt, grabbing the backing and the batting. This quilt's way out in the middle of my frame because it's pretty small, and so I'm not using my bungee cord clamps to bring it over, but I'm still just going to quilt right to the edge, and if I need to, I can quilt off. I can catch any of the seams that might be starting to separate. That one was not, by the way, but it could have been. And then again, anytime I get out into this white area or the blank area, I'm going to go ahead and do some fancier style quilting. And when I'm on the print fabrics, I can just fill in the density. You can also use this edge to go off and travel back in. So anytime I don't want to get painted into a corner, I can go out the back door and come back in the front door. So when you're working your edges, something like that can be real positive too. One more thing I'd like to share with you all today, if there's an audience still out there, I haven't looked at the comments in so long, let's do a quick check and see if they can hear us. Oh, we got an Eddie cam, is sweet. Nice, okay, they said it looks good. Okay, awesome. So now what we're gonna do, okay, Ed, can I have you step back just a little way so we can show them? I'm going to go ahead and roll this whole thing, because what I was saying a moment ago is I've got think of it like a flower bouquet, is I've got like a pocket here and a pocket here, then a pocket up here, so there's an open space and an open space I want to fill in so it doesn't look so linear. So instead of doing a full roll rotation, I'm going to go ahead and just do a backwards rotation. And I realize, let's do this, Ed. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to just take a knee. Perfect. Okay, now we're on our main cam again. They can see that. Watch this. And so I got to loosen up the locking ratchets on both lower bars first, and my needle is down in the machine. So the machine itself is going to go for a ride with the frame. And I'm going to take it because it's at the almost uppermost portion. I'm going to park it so right here I can see this is going to be my gap, but now I can gain this extra space down here. This was always locked in, so now I'm going to go ahead and lock back in the backing first. One more click, quilt top, and then I like to just always kind of check to make sure that the quilt itself, especially early on while the whole rolls are new, that it's pretty square to my bar or pretty square to my rail here. Okay, so thanks. We're gonna get ready. Eddie, you wanna do some more Eddie cam?
Sure.
All right, so let's go to do a little Eddie cam. And we're gonna get in on the tight stitching here. I think you might be upside down, my friend.
Oh.
There you go. Yeah, this software is very sensitive that way. Okay, we are on Eddie cam again. And so now we're going to pick up from the stitching in here and work our way filling in that gap and then quickly moving our way into the areas that were open so that we can do more stitching. Series of swirls and bubbles are really my favorite because there's no real rhyme or reason to them. I noticed one of the comments, and I appreciate the compliment of me making it look easy. I've done this for a lot of times, folks, and you notice I don't do anything other than this style of quilting. So it's just the amount of practice that I guess I've had in making these fun shapes or motifs. They really do wash up well, though, as well. It is very fun. Start one of those bigger design areas now again. And I used to do projects like this where I would almost not even quilt into the prints or the background. I'd choose one or the other. And that could be real fun. Way to show off the fabric or the quilting. But it plays back on that conversation about density. Okay, so we broke thread again. Go back to our main cam so we can talk this through. Okay, Eddie, I'm going to ask you to step out there. I guess because I got our main cam. There you go. Okay, folks, and I guess we're going to go ahead and, yeah, we'll wrap it up here after this. So, because I just broke thread again, I want to talk about that, both emotionally and physically. Okay, I've been stitching for a bunch of time, and I really was paying more attention to everything else going on around in my environment other than my quilting. So the fact that I just broke thread again is no big deal whatsoever to me because I really wasn't focused on the quilting. If you are breaking thread constantly, please stop. Don't allow yourself to get frustrated and rethread your machine, check your bobbin, put in a fresh needle, but please don't do them all at once. I want you to listen carefully. Please do one thing at a time, so that once you find your solution, later on you'll know, the last time that was happening, I needed a fresh needle. Or the last time that was happening, I just needed to rethread. Or the number one thing, especially not on these long arms, but on the regular machines, is a lot of times we'll start machine quilting with the foot up and we'll get a giant ball of thread underneath. And in correcting that, sometimes we'll fix it and we don't know what's going on. And that's one of the number one frustrating things is we're so excited about doing our project and we're having these little troubleshooting things. But the more you do, the more you understand how your power toys are designed to work, right? And so anytime you run into a hot water situation, just take it one fix at a time until you've been able to dial in what your fix was. Maybe take some notes. A lot of us keep a quilter's journal, and those are some of the things we should be documenting and writing about. I'll get you some wonderful photographs of this quilt as I finish it out, but you can see that I'm going to probably spend, oh golly, I'd like to spend maybe 8 or 10 hours quilting on this quilt, and it's only 70 inches or so long. I really want to treat myself to a couple of great albums and a couple of great days of machine quilting. My guess is I will not finish it before I go to Texas, so I will just release the tension on the frame and it will wait for me here until I get home. Remember, if you're in Texas next week, if you come by the shop, not only are we having, I can still touch the button, the first annual shop hop and all of that. I will be in town next week also. And so it's going to be really exciting. I'll be there the 4th through the 8th. Come on into the shop, say hello to me. Did you like the switcheroo here? I almost got it, except for I unplugged the microphone again. Looking great there, Eddie. Thank you very much. You are awesome, my friend. It was really fun having my buddy in here. He didn't make too many faces at me. Okay, now let me go ahead and do a real serious comments check. Okay. So right away, I saw Linda's comment before I started going up about, am I following a pattern or is it freestyle? So Linda, it's totally freestyle, but it's something that I've done and practiced enough in my life that it feels fairly natural. I find it's easier not to stay on a specific pattern because if I get off the pattern, I get really frustrated. So I just like to kind of have, and this is something that Angela Walters promotes, have multiple motif designs that you're comfortable with, like a pea pod into a swirl into a wishbone, that you can flow from one to the next so that you're practiced but improvisational. Think of it like your jazz music if I can. Okay, let's see. I see Nancy's name out there. What's Nancy up to? Yeah, that is a Juki 350 that I was on. Very, very similar to like the big handy quilters we have. Very nice machine. Okay. I hate the thread breaks. I know it happens though. Don't worry about it. Eddie, you're getting a lot of great jobs out there. Okay. Friends are the best, aren't they? Okay. Oh, they love the close-ups. And all right. Oh, I see what's happened. Carl got jealous, Eddie. Carl was my personal cameraman the last time I tried that. Every time I get somebody that will hold a camera and I'm around a quilt, at any rate, that's what happened. Now I see what all the banter back and forth with out here. Where's ACJ today? Is she out here? I haven't seen any all caps. Anyways, I hope you're doing well, ACJ, if you're watching later tonight. Okay, I think I've got all the questions answered. I'm going to give you all just a few more minutes to get those questions. Oh, I promised a slideshow. I'm so sorry. I almost signed off and we're going to do a slideshow. All right, gang, here it is. These are your quilts. These are all from the So Well Rob Appell Facebook private group. You can all join. Just go ahead and ask and I'll let you in. And so here we go. In no particular order, these are just some of the ones that I found. This here is what is known as the guitar quilt. The guitar quilt is a pattern that I have designed, and this one is a very, very lovely rendition. This here is the black tip reef shark, another pattern that I designed, although there are many additives to this one, which I think are wonderful. My personal favorite, all the divers in the background and everything. I found this one here that I just thought was wonderful. It looks like a very well quilted applique of a carousel horse, and I like the popcorn 3D up front. Very well done. And again, I'm not saying any names because I didn't ask anybody's permission for this. I just wanted to let everybody know how much I appreciate you all following along. And so here, I recognize this quilt. This is the Super 60 Sampler. I believe I have a link in today's description for the quilt kits and patterns for this and videos. This is one of the other ones I've created. This one here, I think I might recognize this one. This one might be a Three Dudes quilt, which was an old-fashioned project that I did. But what I like about this picture is the wonderful cat that's already made its home on the bottom corner. We're just going to leave that up for a second so you can all focus on that cat on the corner of the quilt where all cats belong. This is a terrific pieced dragonfly. I just love the design. I want to say thank you for putting it up on the website. That's great. And then, oh yeah, this one is called Unbelievable. And look at the way those batiks really shine. I believe this was all from a kit from Stitchin Heaven. I know we have the pattern and I've done the video, but I think these are the actual batiks. So I'm guessing this was actually from one of our kits. And this one here is called Cosmic Charlie. That uses also the 60-degree template set that I've created. This one's a kit available at Stitchin Heaven. This one is a beautiful color play and quilting. I don't know the name of it is, but I wanted to put it up because it just demonstrates how awesome and simple patchwork can be and beautiful. And then this one here is the one I was showing you, although this is one of your quilts out there. This is the New Year's Day from this year mystery quilt along. And this one is quilt and bound, although there's an added interior border, it looks like, which I really like. So that's pretty terrific little add-on. Well done. And then here is, I believe this was a scrap project that came together. And so this is one side of the quilt, and then there's a wonderful panel on the other. And I believe that one's going to a wonderful youngster somewhere. So just really great ways to use our fabrics and use our time and energy to get out there and, you know, enjoy our sewing. So I hope I certainly didn't embarrass anybody out there by posting your photo on my channel, but I thought it'd be a really fun way to do that. You know, as a matter of fact, I think it'd be really fun if we started doing this more on the regular, like once a quarter or something. So if you would like me to start collecting your photos, why don't you send them to me? I have my email coming up here in just a second. It is rob@stitchinheaven.com, and you're welcome to send me photographs, and I'll start saving them. And if you send them to me, I will assume you would like at least your first name put up on the screen. If you want to put a little story with it, I'll try to keep track of all of those so I can give everybody a fun slideshow. Of course, you know I chose the ones today that I recognize so I could talk a little bit about them without embarrassing anybody else out there other than myself, and that's always the fun way to do this. Anyways, I'd love to hear if anybody's got any. Somebody said that's their quilt and that's their cat Ernie. I love it. Of course, I guess we're gonna all. Everybody loves cats. I do not have any new photos this week of Charlie and Winston snuggling. I think that the photo from 2 weeks back was probably the best photo I'll ever get. So we're going to stop that while we're out. Well, we're just going to call it a win and move on. How's that sound? All right, folks, I am dying to get back over to my long arm. I have got that thing in my brain. I want to get some machine quilting done. If you are the praying type, I will be on an airplane Sunday heading out to Texas. So wish me safe travels. And I will be in Friday. If come by the shop, ask for me. I might be in the back, or Elijah and I might be working on a cool video or something. So just let the folks up front know, and I will do everything in my power to stop what I'm doing and come out and at least get a hug and a photo and that kind of thing with y'all. And other than that, next week's video coming up is, I believe, the official version of quilting this on the long arm. Might get you in a little bit closer and personal, a little bit more information, and some of the things that I was going over pretty fast in today's video. So again, thank you all for being here. I so appreciate you all being out there. If you have not subscribed,